So, the movie is about a very genius girl named Lynn. Because of her intelligence, her father is also very impressed with her. Rose wanted to get her admission in a very good school. But when they go to the school, the headmistress there tells them that the school fee is very high. Can you afford it? But as soon as Lynn starts talking, with her words and her calculations, the headmistress is also very impressed. Moreover, she gives her free admission to the school. Now, as soon as Lynn comes to school, she becomes friends with another girl, but she is not as intelligent as Lynn. Lynn used to help her solve math problems. Soon, her exam comes, and Lynn takes all the points. Her friend takes good points, but they are a little less. Although she did not know anything in the exam, Lynn helped her. So, these two friends are very happy. After this, Lynn and her friend go to a party organized by Lynn's friend's friend. In the conversation, Lynn finds out that she has got a free scholarship, meaning her admission is free. However, there were some funds that her father had paid. When Lynn goes to her house and sees the receipt, she finds out that her father had paid only 2 lakhs in funds. Lynn starts crying after seeing this and tells her father, "Daddy, what was the need to enroll in such an expensive school?" So, her father tells her, "Nothing is more important to me than your future. Just focus on your studies." Now, soon, it is Lynn's mother's birthday. She remembers her and starts playing the piano because she doesn't have one. Then, Lynn gets an idea that the children in her class are not as intelligent as her, and they always fail in the exam. So, why not help them this time? She calls all those people and tells them, "Look, as I am playing the piano, remember the fingers of these hands. If I do my fingers like this, the option will be A. If I do it like this, it will be B, or C, or D." So, all the children remember the finger positions. When the exams come, Lynn helps them with the gesture of her finger. In this way, the class starts getting very good marks. When the result of these exams comes, the result of her class is at the top. And the one who topped the class is obviously Lynn. The child who came in second is named Bank. They both take part in a competition representing their school, called Team Genius. Since Bank is also very intelligent, these two want to win the competition. The headmistress and the rest are very happy with them. The headmistress tells them, "There are some children who are studying for a scholarship, but I am very impressed with both of you, Lynn and Bank. You both have made our school proud. So, I can give you both an opportunity, but only one of you can avail it. You can go to Singapore and study for a scholarship, absolutely free. So, see which one of you deserves it." Here we learn about Bank's family, which is very poor. Bank used to work very hard for this, so that he could do something for his family. A boy comes to Bank and tells him, "I want your book. You make very good notes." Bank replies, "Sorry, I want to read it myself." The boy accidentally says, "You don't help anyone. Lynn helps us a lot. She also helps us in our exams." He shouldn't have said that, but it slips out of his mouth. Bank doesn't like this. When the exam starts, he starts noting it down. Lynn is really doing this. Now the exam begins. All the children are given papers. Some are in set 1, and some are in set 2. That is, both the sets change. Lynn had set 1, so she points out to everyone, "I have set 1. Now, only the children who had set 1 could take help from Lynn. The rest of them would fail. When Lynn starts helping them, Bank notices this. So, he immediately goes and tells the invigilator. The invigilator says, "Okay, I'll see. You sit." After the exam, they all come out. That's when the headmistress calls Lynn to her office. When Lynn goes inside, she sees that Bank is already there. He has complained to the headmistress. The headmistress asks her, "Are you cheating?" Lynn gets scared. Then, Lynn's father is also called and told, "Your daughter is cheating. Is that why we admitted her to school?" She tells her father many things. Lynn doesn't want to hear this and says to the headmistress, "What are you talking about? Whatever you want to say, tell me. Why are you telling my father?" The headmistress gets angry. Lynn shouldn't have misbehaved with her, because now her chance to go to Singapore is over. And what she was afraid of happens. The headmistress says the same, that on one condition, Lynn will not be expelled from school. If she has to continue studying, she will have to study without a protocol. And she will not be sent to Singapore either. Lynn says, "Okay, don't send me," and comes home from there. Even after going home, Lynn gets scolded by her father a lot. Sometimes, Lynn gets a call from her friend, who calls her to a hotel. The friend tells her that she needs her help. In fact, this is her friend. His father is also sitting here. The boy's father starts talking to Lin, saying, "I want my son to pass the exam. You have to help him." In fact, both the boy and Lin's friend are going to give the exam, which has a lot of benefits to pass. But the boy could never pass that exam himself. So, he called Lin to help him, and in return, he will give her 6 lakhs. But Lin doesn't want to do this now. Because she had already been insulted a lot by him, she goes to him to apologize. But as soon as Lin leaves the hotel, she sees the watches lying there, each showing a different time zone. Each country has a different time, and an idea clicks in her mind. The international exam that her friend and the boy were going to take had to be held at the same time worldwide. Since every country in the world has a different time, the country where the first exam would be held could show the questions and answers, as the paper would be the same. By copying the answers later, they could give their exam. Lin tells both of them about the idea, and they decide that they will also help Bank. Lin says she will go to Australia to take the exam. Whatever questions come up, she will remember and text them as soon as she gets home, so they can prepare and take their exam. They are all very happy because the idea is powerful. Meanwhile, Bank is beaten by some boys and thrown into a corner. All the people are planning how to cheat on the international exam. They let others who need to take the exam contact them, and they form a group. They tell them that if they want help with the exam, they will need to pay for it, as passing the exam is not free. The rich boy, whose father is very wealthy and wants his son to pass the exam, tells all the kids that in the examination hall, they can only take 4 things: their passport, exam paper, pencil, and an eraser. The question arises, how will they cheat? Bank will go to Australia, and from there, they will remember the exam questions. However, they can't text the students during the exam. So they plan to use the barcode on the pencil. The answers will be printed on the barcode. The thickest line will represent A, the thinner line B, the thinnest line D, and so on. They will print this barcode on the pencils and distribute them to all the students. They follow their previous plan, as Lin suggested. There are 3 breaks during the exam. After completing one section, when the first break happens, Lin will go to the washroom and pass on the answers to all the kids. She repeats the same process in the second break. But when the third break happens, Bank takes too long in the washroom. An examiner comes and opens the door because he suspects Bank is going to the washroom too often. The mobile phone falls from Bank's hand and breaks, and he is caught. Lin also cannot go to the washroom because many people are there. When she returns to the exam hall, she is worried because Bank is not there. Something must have gone wrong. The third section of the paper starts, but Lin doesn't know how she will share the answers for the last section. She writes them on the side of the paper and remembers them. She puts a pencil in her mouth as an excuse to leave. She says she's not feeling well and needs to go to the washroom. When she leaves, the same examiner follows her. Since they are in Australia, the rules there are very strict. He tells her she must come back and finish her exam. Lin argues that she's feeling sick, but the examiner forces her to return and complete the paper. Lin hides her phone in someone else's bag when she leaves. Fortunately, she had already sent the answers via text. When she returns, she sees that Pam is sitting there. The staff there had realized that Lin and Pam were from the same school, so they had a suspicion about both of them. However, Pam defends Lin, saying that she had nothing to do with it. Lin returns to her home country, Thailand, where her friend welcomes her. But Lin is very worried. She meets her father and hugs him, crying because she's concerned about Bank. A few days later, when Lin goes to visit Bank, she notices an expensive sports bike and other costly items. She doesn't understand who brought them there. Then she sees Bank, who reassures her not to worry. He explains that he returned without any major issues and bought all these things with the money he made. He shows her a notice for another international exam and asks what she thinks about earning more money from it. Lin responds, "No, Bank, not now. We've done something very wrong." Bank then blackmails her, saying, "If you don't listen to me, I'll tell everyone that you were with me." However, Lin doesn't listen to him and leaves. In the last scene of the movie, Lin is sitting in front of an officer, admitting, "I cheated in that international exam," and explaining how and when she did it. She admits her mistake and feels ashamed of it. With that, the movie ends.